This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Thursday, February the 18th, race number 10 at Gulfstream Park. We close out the card with a nice optional claimer scheduled for turf. We throw up the field, and you can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. The 2 Lavi is entered main track only, Mike. The 5 Get Rewarded ran very well last time out, and he seems solid in here.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. I think her last 2 races are actually both pretty good. So we'll see what kind of price she goes off at, and we'll see how she does against what may be a better field this time.
Let's look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. Zodiac Princess, the number 3. She has positional speed. She is usually forwardly placed. The 10 Aizu's best game is probably when she goes to the lead. That's how she went gate to wire last time out in her maiden race. I think these 2 are going to be close to the pace, and I think the pace will be fair.
Yeah, I won't argue with the pace projector. I didn't feel like this pace had to be fast, but I didn't feel like they were going to walk either.
The number 1 is Follow the Flag. And Follow the Flag didn't really run very well last time out, but it was her first start off of a lengthy layoff. She has a beautiful pedigree. She's very lightly raced. It's possible she's going to take a big step forward in her second start for trainer Michael Matz.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. I wouldn't be too hard on her for the last one, Dan. She didn't run well, as you mentioned, but she also never really got into a position to run, and it was off of a pretty long layoff. I thought her maiden win back in last April, I thought that was pretty good. She got a perfect trip in that race, but she had to come through pretty tight on the rail in there. I thought she was game to do that and got the job done, and now she gets Saez back aboard.
2 Lavi is entered main track only. Let's move on to the 3 Zodiac Princess. We expect her to be among the early leaders. She was right up close to the pace last time out at Gulfstream. She faltered late. I just wonder if from a class standpoint, this is a little tough. She likes to run second, 9 seconds from 29 starts. Maybe I'd use her underneath, but this seems like a pretty good group she's facing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I didn't like her last race at all, Dan. I thought overall her trip was fine. She was no match for Get Rewarded in there. She's got to do a lot better than that.
Hotsy Totsy is the number 4. Now, we haven't seen this one since June, where she was running against a tough allowance field at Belmont. Zanthik, the winner of that race, came right back to win a 2-other then with an 85 Beyer speed figure. Hotsy Totsy ran fine in that race. It was kind of a slow race. This layoff is somewhat concerning, but Clement excels off the bench.
Yeah, he does. I'm just not much of a fan of this horse, Dan. I realized that in her stateside debut, she was just probably in way too tough in the risk averse. But I didn't like the race that she lost here last May. And, even with that race being a better field last time at Belmont, that was a race that was slow early, fast late. She was right up close. She wasn't close to good enough.
Get Rewarded, the number 5, comes off a good effort against $16,000 starter allowance foes. Let's watch the stretch run of that race. Now, the winner of this race is 2-5, and Get Rewarded early, I thought, was in a pretty tight spot in between horses. She finally gets to the far outside, and she's going to come running, just no match for this odds-on favorite. Solid performance for Get Rewarded, 83 Beyer, right on the heels of an 82 Beyer. She really fits from a fig standpoint.
Yeah, she does. Her last 2 races are both really good, I think. And I don't think it's fair to say she was going to win last time over that 2-5 shot, but you're right. I mean, she was in tight. She had to give away a little bit of position to get clear around the second turn. And then she just couldn't catch the winner. I thought she ran really well last time.
Beam of Light, the number 6, has some things I think going in her favor. She's making the 3rd start of the form cycle, and Get Rewarded beat her a length and a half in her first start back. She might have just been in too tough last time out. The winner of that race is a nice horse. For Bill Mott, she came back to run second in the Grade 3 Endeavor with an 86 Beyer speed figure, and maybe Beam of Light was just in a bit too tough.
Yeah, it could have been too tough a field last time. It feels like this is better. She has some ground to make up on Get Rewarded. When you go back and watch that December 10th race, this filly made the first move, got to the lead, and she was really no match for Get Rewarded in there. But she's very lightly raced. She could improve again.
First start of the year for the number 7, Hera, who finished behind Get Rewarded last time out. But this trainer does well with horses coming off layoff lines, as we see from our formulator fact. Trainer Carlos David, over the past 2 years with older turf runners, first start off a 61-day layoff or better, 4 for 11, and a $5.87 ROI. This one has a little bit of tactical speed. She might have to run her best yet.
I can see her getting a good trip in here. I just don't know if it's going to be enough, Dan, especially based on that last one, which was in the same kind of condition. Get Rewarded, Beam a Light, they ran right by this horse around the second turn in there. It was not even close.
Now, the recent running line for the 8 All Come True looks dreadful. I'm not willing to completely give up on her just yet. It was her first start over a year-plus layoff. She took a lot of money in that race for Graham Motion. She didn't break very well like many European imports, and she was no threat after in a race that just didn't have much pace. And the winner's okay. Came back to run second with an 82 buyer.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real wild card in this race, Dan. And in a lot of ways, I think the 8 All Come True is the key to this race in here. Plenty of excuses for that last race there back in December. Actually, I thought tried to make a little bit of a run into that race before she got tired. So, yeah, I don't think it was as bad as it looks on paper. You go back to her career debut, that was sprinting in French. She actually had speed that day, Dan. She wired that field right up the rail. I think we're going to get a better performance out of this filly this time.
The number 9, Holy Ann, has just had her share of issues, it seems, for trainer Jose Corrales, Stronach Stables. This horse came off of a lengthy year-plus layoff and finished a good second at Woodbine, going 2 turns on their inner turf course, but then went to the sidelines again for 3 months, and her first start back, well, it wasn't very promising.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't really like those recent layoffs, do you? I mean, she did run pretty well last October to be second with a pretty good figure. Boy, it feels like she took a real step backward off the trainer change last time. We'll see if she can rebound.
Aizu, the number 10, needed 8 tries to graduate, but she did so in this race at Gulfstream Park West on November the 27th. Luca Panici gave her a nice rated trip on the lead. She got comfortable. She sprinted on home. This is a filly that's hit the board in 7 of 8 starts. Now she has to face winners for the first time, and she has to do it off a 3-month layoff, but I think she can work out a comfortable enough trip from close to the pace, if not outright on the lead again.
Yeah, that's what I like about her too. And listen, I guess we'll find out how good she is, or a little bit more about how good she is here. If nothing else, she's improved, and every one of her 4 turf starts a step forward every single time, and she looks pretty tactical.
Now she's tactical. Feature Creature's more of a one-run closer from the back of the pack. And while she's consistent, she got the setup last time out on January the 22nd against a pretty weak bunch of $16,000 claimers. There was some speed on tap. Feature Creature kind of made a mid-move into the pace, and she just keeps grinding it out, and she's going to get up to win this race by a neck. Feature Creature, 74 buyer, needs pace help up front. Game win, though.
Yeah, very game win for her here. Listen, she's stepping way up in class for this. At least she's doing it at the right time, Dan. She's in very good form right now. She's a little bit slow for this field.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Thursday DRF race of the day. Get Rewarded just had that tiny bit of trouble last time out, and I agree with Mike. Probably doesn't beat that 2-5 shot, even with a clear trip, but it was nice to see her fire in the stretch. She's in continued good form, and she has tactical speed, and from a speed figure standpoint, she just makes sense. I'm not in love really with anybody else.
Yeah, I agree. I just like her last 2 races, and I feel like this might be the time to get her again. I feel like the 8 is in some ways the horse to beat in here. I'm afraid of her, Dan, but I think she's going to take money in here. I'll try to beat her with the 5.
Mike's going 5-8. Maybe Aizu can get up close to the pace yet again and hold on for a piece at a price. She's the 10. I'll go with the old Woolworths, 5-10-1-6. Mike's going 5-8-6-1. It's your Thursday DRF race of the day, the finale at Gulfstream Park. Best of luck.